Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Whoey Ood, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast. My name is Ben. I'm here with my co-host Cam, as always. How you doing today, Cam?
I'm doing good. We're recording this on the night that the next episode drop of Andor is out. It's the second and last one. We're so close to it's coming to Rogue One time. So it's like, all right, how is the story gonna end? Who knows?
Aren't they gonna do a season 3?
Nah, this is the end.
This is it.
This is it. That's what I'm telling you, Ben. This is the best time to watch it right now. You gotta watch the show, Ben. It is by far the greatest thing that Star Wars has made since Empire Strikes Back. It's better than Return of the Jedi.
Really?
It's so fucking good. I'm in love with it. It's made me fall back in love with Star Wars in a way I never thought could happen. Mainly after Rise of Skywalker being as bad as it was. Rise of Skywalker was rough.
It's the prequel spin-off of the prequel spin-off. That's what got you back in.
Who would have thought? But Ben, I'm telling you, it's really good.
I'll watch it at some point.
And that's not convincing, Ben. That sounds like you're not gonna watch it because you're thinking, "Oh fuck, well, I don't want to watch the Cassian and Andor show." It's not the Cassian and Andor show, Ben. It's more than that.
Okay. Right now, I'm more in the thought process of, there's Star Wars and Fortnite. I started playing Jedi Fallen Order. I'm in a kind of a Star Wars mood. I'm thinking about Star Wars, which makes me go, yeah, I gotta start at the beginning. I gotta rewatch the movies. I gotta watch the Clone Wars, which I never did. Gotta watch Rebels. Gotta watch the holiday special.
That's what's great about Andor is that I feel like with the Dave Filoni Star Wars shows, he's a little bit too up his own ass. That he is a little bit more like, okay, I need to have this reference back to Clone Wars or the Rebels. It's like as someone even me who watched Clone Wars as a kid, it's like I can't watch Ahsoka because to watch Ahsoka I need to watch Rebels. And I'm
Yeah.
like, don't really want to watch Rebels. So it's like, okay, that whole Star Wars show is not really made for me, I guess. And then even the Mandalorian has like, as you know, like Bo Katan's and that's a Clone Wars character, and it's just
It's so much, the dark saber and
yeah, the Darksaber too.
Moff Gideon.
Not Moff Gideon, I don't think is in anything else.
He isn't? I thought he was a Clone Wars guy.
No.
No, you're right. I thought he was. Okay.
But that's what's great about Andor is that Andor is a show that doesn't care about any of that. It's just cares about the story.
I don't remember Rogue One at all though.
But like it's so much better than Rogue One. You gotta watch it. Watch those first 3 episodes, but I'm telling you, you're gonna love this show.
Okay.
I'm trying my hardest here, Ben. I watched Severance off of your recommendation. Now you owe me.
I owe you Andor.
Watch Andor. You're gonna love it, Ben. It's really good.
Okay.
But I saw that you are playing Jedi Fallen Order. How you liking Jedi Fallen Order so far, Ben?
It's good. I'm still kind of getting into it. I'm on the first, I guess you would say real planet. Just got force push.
So you're on Dathomir.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun. Still trying to get a good feel for the combat, but it feels good. It is
Oh yeah.
fun. Intrigued by the story, although I don't know. If there's a disconnect I feel from let's rebuild the Jedi Order and what were these ancient species doing? Let's go run around these open worlds. I don't know.
Hmm.
There's some kind of disconnect I feel there, but it's still good. It's still fun.
Are you gonna have a part of your problem is that you're an OCD gamer that likes to get 100%. Would you the way you play this, are you gonna complete everything on Dathomir before you move on to the next planet?
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting, all the chests I see, but it's a bunch of just, cosmetic stuff.
But also there's some stuff there that like
I mean, it's kind of a Metroidvania. I'll probably just have to go through the story and then do a big sweep at the end where I go through every planet and get everything I missed or couldn't get the first time. But today we're not talking about anything Star Wars related. Today we are talking about the season 15 finale, the invasion of time.
what a great piece of music that is, man.
I don't know what piece of music that is.
The part 4 cliffhanger music, man.
Is that it?
Oh yeah.
I will take your word for it. But it was broadcast February 4th to March 11th, 1978 on BBC One. This was written by David oh no, that's a pseudonym.
Yep. David Agnew is the name. Graham Williams, and then it was written by Graham Williams and Anthony Reed.
Yes, directed by Gerald Blake, who previously did The Abominable Snowman way like 8 oh no, 10 years ago at this point.
Where did they find him, I wonder?
I don't know. What it's a little strange that he just like, "Yep, I'm back." He was doing some other BBC shows
He also directed Blake 7, so around that same time.
and Terry Nation Survivors. But yeah, Cam, what did you think of The Invasion of Time?
I did not like Invasion of Time, Ben. It was a slog to get through. It's a kind of one of those episodes where you watch it and just go, okay, a lot of the problems that people say that classic Doctor Who has can kind of be all summed up with the Invasion of Time. Basically, the big 2 points just being bad special effects and just people running up and down corridors. That's kind of Invasion of Time. Mostly more of the Invasion of Time is the corridor running up and down corridors, because that's all the story is. It's just them running away from something or to something, and then like a bunch of exposition and filler in between. That's just not really interesting to follow and pay attention to, even with the pot for twist being as iconic as it is. The main villains just suck. The tinfoil men, that Ben, you will say their names later on, but right now I'm just going to refer to them as the tinfoil men. The tinfoil men are just boringly designed and also performed. That performance is awful. It just sounds like a guy that's like not giving it his all at all. But you do have, to be fair, a fun Tom Baker performance in there. And Leela ends this Leela's last story, and she goes away, and it's an ending for Leela's character for sure. There's not much to say about it other than it's just an ending.
It is definitely an ending.
What did you think of the Invasion of Time, Ben? Are you going to be like, no, I'm the complete opposite on this? This is actually a great story that is underrated.
I liked it. I didn't love it. Is this as good as the other 4th Doctor 6 parts? Definitely not. Is this a terrible story? No, I don't think so. There's definitely is some filler in there. It's a little bit dragged out. Like the Sontaran portion feels kind of tacked on. Like
Yeah.
if it was just a four-parter with the Vardans, maybe that would have been better. I don't know.
Oh God. But even that sounds awful.
And, the special effects, yeah, there's is kind of a cheapness to everything. That's not a major dissuading factor for me just personally. It's just I was always invested and intrigued with what's going on, like, the doctor's acting strangely. Who are the Vardans? What there's always a sense of suspense and mystery. I was fully engaged. Leela's exit kinda sucked,
Oh yeah.
but overall, I thought, it's it's good, just good.
Interesting. I was not expecting that, Ben.
I know. I mean, it's no time monster, let's be clear, but it's not bad. It's probably overhated.
Hmm. Well, like I feel like there is a part of the fandom that thinks this story sucks, that I am part of. And I think there is one that's more in your case of like, no, this is like there's some good stuff in here.
Yeah. Like, there's definitely stuff that does not work at all, but there's also a lot of stuff that I think really works.
Like I said, even as somebody that didn't really like it, Tom's performance in it, I still think it's great. This is one of his good performances. That you can tell that he is giving it his all. But also, as such a big fan of Deadly Assassin, I find this as being kind of a follow up to Deadly Assassin to be such a disappointment, just because of like all that grandeur in Deadly Assassin and the great characters in Deadly Assassin are just not present here for me. Like especially in particular they recast
Barusa?
Brusa and they recast the Castellan.
Is that a recast? I thought it was the Castellan. That's like a title. His name is Kellner. Is that supposed to be
Yeah, yeah, but like, it's not the same Castellan as before.
But it's not the same man. It's not supposed to be the same man.
Is but, like, I don't know, man. I have no it's hard to tell with Time Lords because it coulda just been a regeneration. I don't did they ever say this?
Yeah, it's Spandrel. It was the Castellan from Deadly Assassin. So this is a different guy.
Okay. But I still think he just the Castellan and the Deadly Assassin is a memorable character, but this one is just insufferable.
I mean, I think that's by
Oh,
design. He's
yeah,
supposed
yeah,
to
yeah,
be a evil, scheming bootlicker.
yeah. Yeah.
I thought he was pretty funny. There's, I think, a weird sense, there are times where this is like really super serious end of the universe, but then there's also moments where it's like Three Stooges slapstick, like physical comedy. Like, I didn't write down any like specific examples for it. I should have. But do you remember any? There's like, oh, when the doctor is entering the chancellor's chamber for the first time, and he's like, "Announce me." Just like it can be really silly at times.
Yeah, but that's kind of the Grant Williams era is kind of criticized a lot for it being when Doctor Who got a little bit too silly, and especially when we get to Douglas Adams. You can imagine that Douglas Adams is a very silly man, Ben. So
Oh yes, he is. I'm looking forward to it.
Graham Williams isn't somebody that's like he kind of more goes for that side of Doctor Who instead of like maybe the more Philip Hinchcliffe Docker side of Doctor Who. Graham Williams is much more like I let's have make a funny science fiction show.
I'm okay with it being silly,
But yeah, I just but all right, let's get into like Pacifics, Ben. What do you want to start with?
like a character.
Like I don't know what's a talking point you want to go to next, Ben?
Could this be worthy of going beat by beat, or do you disagree?
No, Ben, I don't. I couldn't go beat by beat for this story because I don't have it. I was not that interested. In it. I was like, oh, things are happening on the screen and they're going by. Oh,
I have a question for you, Cam.
yeah.
Did you watch this story in one or two big binge where you're just sitting there like, oh, this sucks?
So basically, the way I watched it was I watched. I was good. I watched like on Thursday night. I watched one pot. On Friday night, I watched like the second pot, and then Friday I watched like two or three pots, and then like on Sunday I watched like two or not three pots.
Okay, that's not
So I
terrible.
did split it up.
I did one a night for a week.
I need to get better at doing that. 'Cause I think that's Doctor Who's the classic Doctor Who is at its best when you do one or two. When you get to that three episodes, it's gonna be rough on any story that isn't like great.
Yeah, but it sounds like you were mostly good. So that isn't necessarily a factor in your
Which one did you watch, Ben? Did you watch the original effects or did you watch the special effects?
I watched the original effects. I didn't know there was even updated effects. But it was just the default. I got the Blu-ray for this season, so I've been
Mm.
watching it off the Blu-ray, and I just put it in and hit play, and the one that played was the original, which is what I would want it to do.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of it and it looks really weird. Like, I don't know. Like the special effects are bad for like what's the name again?
Vardans?
The Vardans. The Vardan special effects are just it's one of the worst special effects in this whole show, right?
We'll talk about it.
But like seeing the redo version of that, I don't really know if I want that. I kind of want the effects to be as bad as they are because that's kind of the charm of it in a way.
Yeah, having it like the special edition or whatever is like
Like, did you see it?
it's like a man that is glowing,
Yeah.
which doesn't look good.
But they didn't get rid of the tinfoil crinkling when they speak. Did that aggravate you, Ben? I know you don't like sounds. Like you sometimes are sensitive to sounds, Ben. Did that bug you at all? It bugged me.
No, it didn't bug me.
It bugged the shit out of me. I hated it so much. It's one of those things that's kind of like it's kind of just itches that part of your brain that goes, ah. That's what it did every single time that it would do it. I hated it so much.
Maybe it was better on a TV than it would have been if I was watching it with headphones.
Oh yeah.
Do you watch it at your computer, or do you put it on the TV?
I put on the TV, of course. I have been watching. I've been bad. I've been watching on YouTube the past couple episodes because they're just on YouTube.
Yeah,
So like I have it on Blu-ray, but I've just been like, okay, it's just so convenient to have it on on YouTube, you know.
yeah, true, true.
So I've just been watching it on the YouTube.
I've been liking having the Blu-ray though. It's the US copy, so the frame rates are a little off, but I got used to it pretty quick.
I guess this is just how Class of Doctor Who looks to my eye, so I'm just kinda used to it, that it just looks kind of a little bit weird that it but, like, 25 even 25 no, I shouldn't say 25 frames per second looks kinda weird. But yeah, Ben, beat by beat well, not beat by beat, but what do you wanna talk about, Ben? You still haven't gotten to my question of what do you wanna talk about in this story?
I guess let's this is, like, not in order at all, but it's what I really wanna talk about right now, the TARDIS. Episode 6, All in the TARDIS. Thoughts?
It's it's just terrible. It's so like, I love the idea of it, like, I love TARDIS episodes.
Yeah.
Like, Edge of Destruction, there's a charm to Edge of Destruction just being all on the TARDIS, right? And then, like, even the new series, there's episodes like, Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, which isn't the greatest episode, but I kind of enjoy it just because it's like I think the TARDIS is interesting.
Very.
I think that, like, this story does add a very key thing to the TARDIS, which, of course, the TARDIS has a swimming pool, which is something
Yeah.
that Stephen Moffat really took off with and ran. He loved that idea.
Really?
Yeah, it's brought up so much throughout his era of Doctor Who.
I would not have expected that.
But, like, I think it just taps into, like, a fantasy thing of, like, this box is big on the inside, it's a time machine, and it has a swimming pool inside of it. Like, it's a good, like, little, like, last third thing to be like, "And it has a swimming pool."
Wow, the companions have it pretty good.
Like, oh, yeah. Like, well, who would not want a swimming pool inside of their home? But, of course, it doesn't look like it's, like, inside of the TARDIS, it just looks like a swimming pool because that's what it is.
Yeah, it's really interesting seeing more of the TARDIS other than the console room. That's something that's always I've kinda missed, like, the Hartnell era, we see, like, a couple more rooms, like, there's, like, bedrooms and dining, seeing it as more than just this one little box is always very interesting to me. So, this was very intriguing. What we actually got kinda sucks.
Yeah.
This is just 1 episode, so I could tell they did not have much budget. They had, like, a warehouse that they could walk around, like a dirty, wet brick warehouse.
Majority of the story was shot at a hospital. So I think this is just corridors in a hospital, an old, like, hospital.
Yeah, it's just I would want it to be more white and roundel, futuristic.
Yeah, science fiction, not just
Science
something that you would see on
fiction.
Earth.
Exactly.
It's disappointing because we want that, of course, because we haven't got that really. I'm just like, "Okay, this is a box that's bigger on the inside. What is it actually like in the inside?" And this
Yeah.
story does give us, "Alright, here is what's on the inside," and it's just boring looking.
Yeah. I mean, it's just hallways upon infinite hallways that all look identically bad.
Yeah. But he also Gallifrey is also just a lot of corridors.
True.
Not just corridors, it's mostly they go back to that one corridor so much throughout the story.
Outside of the, president's room.
Yeah, like that one corridor they shoot in for a good they spent a good a lot of time in this story in that corridor.
Yeah, and, like, they reused some rooms too, like, the, like, guard Castellan room is the same as, Rodon's room.
Oh, gotta mention from Rodan, like, what a beautiful woman, Ben, that's all I'm gonna say.
Can you say more? What do you mean?
Did you not think she was beautiful? I was like, "Wow, she's drop dead gorgeous."
Sure, I suppose.
I was struck by this Doctor Who background not background character, but, like, minor character in Doctor Who episode. I was like, "Wow, she's gorgeous." And you're just like, "Oh, she's there, I guess."
She's a mildly interesting character, mostly in how she acts, when she's out of her element.
What makes her interesting also is that she's the first, like, just normal Time Lord slash Gallifreyan that we meet, basically in all of Doctor Who. That's not like, alright, she's not, like, a part of, like, the military or, like, not part of like high command or like I guess like the news anchor and Deadly Assassin, but like this is just a normal bloke.
I mean, she's like traffic control.
Yeah. Like she's the most ordinary person there on Gallifrey. I find that kind of to be interesting.
Mhm. I think she's most interesting when we see her out of her element, when she goes outside of the Citadel into the great outdoors of the planet Gallifrey, which is something we can maybe talk about next. For the first time, we see what Gallifrey really looks like, which is this red and orange sunsetted desert, harsh climate where no one can survive, which is something I'm aware is continues forward as the depiction of Gallifrey.
Oh yeah. Definitely more in the new series. I think this is the last time that we really get that in the classic Who. I haven't seen Arc of Infinity, but I don't think Arc of Infinity does that. I know the Five Doctors doesn't. But then like in the new series when we go to Gallifrey, spoilers, Ben,
There's Gallifrey in the new series?
they do depict it as like a more of a desert. Like they go to Spain to shoot it. It has that warmth color to Gallifrey. Sadly, they get rid of like the green aesthetic of Gallifrey, which I think is kind of a shame. I think they should have brought back the green aesthetic.
In the new series?
Yeah, Gallifrey isn't green.
Interesting.
Like you know how the Citadel is all green and like Deadly Assassin and Invasion of Time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting too. We see Gallifreyans who reject the mantle of the Time Lords and decide to live outside of that society, presumably like their ancestors did. More tribal, more warriors instead of high and mighty. What did you think of like Nesbin and his group?
I think it's interesting that like the distinction of Gallifreyans and Time Lords to be an interesting idea. And this is kind of like the first time we really see that, or just basically the only time we really see that.
Or, I mean, I guess they were Time Lords, but they just left.
But like they're not it's different. They're not like Time Lords is kind of more Time Lord is a rank that you earn. And like they're just kind of like they're not following that. They're not following the Time Lord ways, Ben.
Mhm.
They're just surviving out there. Who knows what they eat out there?
Probably wildlife.
Is there wildlife on Gallifrey? I guess they had have to be because the Time Lords like evolved from something.
I mean, they have bows.
Yeah,
They hunt something,
they
presumably.
hunt other Time Lords. So like the cannibals.
Maybe.
Well, Leela, watch out. But that is interesting. I wish that the new series kind of explored that more when we do go to Gallifrey, but no, they're just kind of just people.
Stuck in the utopian society portion of Gallifrey.
No, like not to get too much into it, of course, but like we do see like the regular folks on just non-Citadel Gallifrey, and they're just kind of just like normal people, like just in normal clothes. Like they're not like this.
They're not savages.
No, they're just kind of more just like what you would imagine be like old British people.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah, you know, like people in rags and shit. But yeah, let's go to Leela, Ben.
Yes.
Let's jump to Leela. I have a question for you, Ben. I
Yes.
don't think they ever explain in the story, but I was always confused right from the get go of why is Leela able to even go to Gallifrey in the first place?
I mean, he couldn't bring Sarah. He couldn't bring Sarah. Leela, though, I mean, her presence is clearly unconventional and unwelcome at times beyond the doctor's like facade. But they also let her stay there and marry a Time Lord and live there forever.
Yep.
I don't know if it's a plot hole or
I don't know if you saw the Blu-ray trailer for season 15. Did you see that?
I'd have not.
It's kind of spoilers in a way, but it's like it shows Leela in the Time War, so she's there till the Time War happens. So
Hmm.
like she's there for a long ass time.
Yeah, and she has, like, the Gallifrey Big Finish series.
Yeah, which I've always been interested in.
Yeah, I would like to check it out. I mean, I think there's some Romana stuff that I need to know first,
Oh
but
yeah.
I am intrigued. I want more of her. I like her.
Well, like it's kind of like a sequel to like the Big Finish, like Time Lord stuff. You would have to listen to all the Gallifrey stuff before that in Big
Yeah,
Finish.
probably the, like, 8th Doctor.
Yeah, Nevermind and Zagreus.
I'll add it to the list. So much Big Finish, Cam.
So much, too much. Never gonna stop.
As a couple every month.
I just don't understand why they haven't come up with a subscription service yet. Of like, okay, here's pay us like a $10 a month.
A subscription with their whole catalog?
Yeah, so it's just like, hey, not recent releases, but like you get everything from like the start to like 20 like 15. And every year we're just gonna expand it to like, all right, next year is 2016. Next year,
Yeah.
so it's just like everything you still pay.
They can still get you the $30 for all the new box sets, but for their catalog, which, like, is unfeasible to really have someone pay, you know, 5 to $30 a pop for, like, all 250 monthly ranges, all everything, it's too much. I That's a really good idea. I hope they do that someday.
But then like they did do like the Big Finish podcast. Did you know about this?
I know of it, yeah. They're, like, broadcasting some of their stories with, like, opening narration by that doctor, like, I
Yeah.
think some Colin Baker did some extra stuff for that.
Which is that's cool. That like I still haven't listened to any of the stories from there. But I still don't even know if they're doing it. Let me check. Like that's a great idea for them to be like, okay. And do like just give more big finish. So then it's like, okay. To get people into it. So then all right, I'm now interested enough to pay for the box set of whatever this story appeared in, you know?
Yeah.
It's called Into the TARDIS. And last episode was the April 18th. So it seems like they're still doing it or not. Me it seemed I don't know. That's weird. It's the last one is April 18th. They haven't done one since. So who knows?
I suppose they could be taking a break. It's weird to have it be weekly and now it stopped.
Yeah. And then like it went above the like they were doing it for more than a year. So it's not like, oh yeah, they stopped right on the year mark. But then who knows?
I don't know.
But anyways, the biggest shame about Leela though, of course, is that she ends up with a random person at the end of the story that it just like it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's not even like, "Oh, it happened off screen." It's like, "No, we saw her on screen the whole time, and there just wasn't anything."
Yep. It's not like Joe.
There was I thought, like, one maybe almost kind of moment in, like, the sick bay when they're hiding, but I rewatched and no, not really. They're just like, "Mhm, let's go."
It would make more sense for her to go with Roden. Let's be honest. She spends more time with her.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, throughout the story, aside from her terrible exit, she was good. She was heroic as ever.
Yeah.
Lots to do outside the Citadel. Love her like unwavering trust in the Doctor. When he seems to be doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, I like that stuff. But also to go back to that ending real quick before we move on, I just want to say also another thing that I was like, very much disliked about it was that the doctor really didn't react to it that much. He was kind of just like, all right, bye. And he was kind of more upset that K9 wasn't going with them as well and was staying behind. Like he was like, got a little bit more upset of that.
Yeah, he just says like, "See ya, Savage. She'll take care of ya."
And then the end. Oh, and the end is he gets a Mach 2, of course. Then he has a big smile. Then, it's the end of the season. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it is. It makes sense. I think for even though it's only been like 2 or 3 stories with K9, I buy it. A lot of the times it's been K9 and Leela interacting. She dotes on him like he's a real dog. So I buy that K9 stays behind with her with Mistress. But there's also K9 Mark II, which where did that come from? Did he build it? Did he buy it? I don't know. Why? Spoiler, I started Rebos operation. It's just K9. He's seemingly not different at all. I don't know if K9 Mark II will be in the end any different from K9 Mark One. What's the point of that unless they were like, "Maybe we'll do a spin-off in the future. The Adventures of Leela and K9." Why have that separation of this is K9 Mark 1 and this is K9 Mark 2 that look identical and act identical?
It's very strange, man. I 100% agree.
But yeah, K9 was good in this
But
episode,
but,
I
like,
guess.
also, like, the ending is just weird just because, like, the endings for Joe and Sarah were so big and emotional and iconic sequences,
Yeah.
and then you just get this, which is just has no big doctor crying moment or emotion. It has doesn't have a "Don't forget me." Like, it doesn't have anything like that.
You sent me something on Twitter, and I sent you something on Twitter in response. It reminds me a lot of, like, Vicky's departure with the first Doctor. Are you familiar with it?
No.
It's a historical, the myth makers, Trojan era. Vicky is, like, captured, and there's a Trojan guard that they don't really have much chemistry, but there's like they try and act like it. And ultimately she decides, I'm gonna stay behind. And she like we see her go into the TARDIS for 30 seconds, and then she comes out of the TARDIS and she's just gone. Because she fell in love with this random man who has said 10 lines of dialogue. And she's like, I want to spend the rest of my life with him. And then she says, "Hey, Katerina, this servant girl, you go with the doctor, I guess." But yeah, very sudden, very kind of out of character for her. A lot like Leela's departure.
Luis wanted to die.
That makes way more sense for her character
Oh, yeah.
to like sacrifice herself for the doctor.
Oh, yeah, and, like, a big blaze of glory and, like, she would do that.
Absolutely.
It's not like a Han Solo where Harrison Ford was like, "Kill me, kill me, kill me." It's like, we're not gonna kill you, or Harrison. It's like, no, Leela, it makes sense for that character to be very much like, "I'll do anything for you, Doctor."
Yeah, if she had saved the day against the Sontarans, that would have like made way more sense than whatever happened with Tom and his big gun.
Also, shout out to when she killed that Sontaran.
Which one?
She like has like a she like throws a knife into like the
Oh,
vent.
yeah, in the vent hole.
Yeah, like good on you, Leela.
She is a pro killer.
Yeah, but overall, just a good companion. I don't think she's a great companion, but she's good.
Yeah, I really like her. She's great. I will miss her. We will see if Romana can replace her.
Ramada won, Ben.
Yes, specifically Romana 1, but presumably she is just Romana until Romana 2 exists.
Yeah,
It's like the first Doctor is just the Doctor.
yeah, but we refer to them as the first Doctor, and then the second Doctor, and then the third Doctor.
True. Then Romana 1. We'll see if Romana 1 can fill the Leela shaped hole in my heart. What did you think then? Speaking of companions, what are your final thoughts of K9 Mark 1 as a companion?
He was there in the story. That's basically it.
He was there.
I have nothing else to say. Doesn't do really anything that memorable in the story. It doesn't have anything that like, oh yeah, K9 did this funny thing or that big moment.
But as a whole, K9 Mark 1, do you have any like favorite moments of with K9 Mark 1?
Not really. I'm not the biggest K9 fan, Ben.
What?
Like, he's just kind of fine, I guess. There's nothing really that much going on to K9. I love the design of K9, don't get me wrong. The design is great. I love John Leeson's voice.
Mhm.
But like in the story, he's not that interesting of a character personally.
Do you think K9 Mark 2 will be better than K9 Mark 1?
Gonna change everything. It's gonna be three-dimensional, man.
Three-dimensional? Sticking out of the
Yeah.
screen?
But of course not as three-dimensional as K9 Mach 3, which of course we're getting K9 coming out.
That's Mark 3?
Yeah.
And then what is Mark 4 K9 the TV show?
Well, that's spoilers, man. Spoilers.
Why is that spoiler?
Spoilers, man. Don't ask too many questions.
Okay. What about the Doctor?
Earth, I enjoyed it. Tom's performance, he's having a ball. It is fun for the first like two pots where he just plays he plays that character of like who am I? What is my motives? Am I did the doctor turn evil? He does a good job in that. He plays it as the doctor, but also he plays it also as like this mysterious character of like, all right, what's going on in the doctor? You buy that he does create a mystery for what that character is doing.
Absolutely, yeah, I love his over the top maniacal performance.
Yeah.
What did you think of his big universe-ending gun that he kills people with.
It's kind of what you expect out of like the story of just like, okay, it needs its big MacGuffin, and then it needs this big final moment.
Tom Baker loves his guns.
Some might call him the American Doctor.
He has so many guns. Can't keep him away from the guns.
No wonder for the Fourth Doctor is when it became popular in America. Let's be honest here.
True.
Okay, Ben, are we going to the Rodents or are we going to the Sontarans?
Vardans. So the Vardans, Cam, I know you probably hate them.
I hate them so much, Ben. They suck. They suck so much. Are you so hyped right now to listen to that Big Finish story, Ben, with the Vardans?
Oh, right, yeah, the companion chronicle that I've with, the 3rd Oliver Harper companion chronicle. I am. I thought they weren't terrible. It's don't get it's a very cheap effect for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I think despite its cheapness, it is effective for these mysterious psychic entities when they like transform into their true form, which is just a couple of white guys. That's pretty boring.
But that's very short lived. By that point, it's kind of the story's wrapping up.
I mean, yeah, one or less parts. They're mostly the tinfoil. But yeah, they're interesting. I question why the doctor has to play along in their scheme at all.
Beats the hell out of me.
Like, oh, he has to make sure they don't find out. But why would he help them at all to begin with? Were they threatening Leela or something? I don't know.
But like, this is Gallifrey we're talking about, the Time Lords and stuff. And it's not like, oh yeah, it's the Earth that's at stake. It's like, no, all of time's at stake here. And he's just playing along. But of course, then the Doctor and the gang defeat them.
They win. It's over.
And it's the end of pot 4. So if you didn't know there's a 6-potter, you would be like, okay, the story's wrapping up. Thank God. It's over. I don't have to watch any more Invasion of Time. Oh, fuck, the Sontarans are here.
Yeah. I think spoilers, cliffhanger wise, I think that's definitely the best.
Oh, yeah. It's a great cliffhanger.
If you didn't know, this was actually a Sontaran story all along.
But one of those like twists that are just ruined in fandom for anyone just because everyone knows going into it that this is a Sontaran story now. It's the same thing with
True.
Earthshock. Earthshock, do you know about Earthshock?
It's Cybermen, right?
Yeah, but like, do you know about like that was a twist? They did not promote the Cyberman was coming back, and as you're aware, they weren't in the show for almost a decade at that point. So like, imagine being a viewer and then all of a sudden, end of part 1, it's the Cyberman. You would be like, oh shit. Which of course this doesn't have that effect to it because it's not as big of a oh my god the Sontarans because we just literally just saw the Sontarans, of course.
I mean, it was a couple years ago at this point.
Yeah. So it would have still been big for people at the time being like, "Oh my god, the Sontarans? Oh my god." And they look more worse than even last time.
Yep, they sure do.
Just wait till the 2 doctors, Ben. They look so bad.
I mean, when you told me in the Time Monster that, oh yeah, this is the best they ever look, I was like, really? This is the first time it's the best and it's all downhill? And so far, you are right. It looks bad.
I hate with this one that there's like the cutouts on the eyes that we see the mask. Like that's it looks awful.
Yeah, and it's got like the dark circles. I don't. The mask looks like they needs to like inflate it. It looks like crumpled and rubber.
Yeah, I also hate the color of it. Like the best, I love that first one. The dark color of it
Yeah.
looks so much better than like when they become more and more yellow and teal and orange. It's like no, it has to be like a dark color, more of a brownish color. Like you said, the black eyes are just given them the black eyes also just look awful.
Yeah, it's not good.
And the performances aren't there as well. This is the first time it's a new actor as the Sontarans, and they're not as good. They're not as memorable, and they're not as like that actor. I forget his name, but like he does such a great job in those 2 episodes, Time Warrior and Sontaran Experiment. And these guys they don't got that sauce, Ben.
It's Kevin Lindsay.
Yeah, Kevin Lindsay is fantastic in those episodes, and it's missing here. But of course, it's the first time we see multiple Sontarans, Ben. How exciting is that?
Yeah, that's true. It's not really, especially when they're The other ones in particular are defeated very easily. One gets a lawn chair thrown at him and he just kind of dies.
That's not Tyrant's greatest weakness. A lawn chair.
I guess this doesn't kill him, but one of them is like eaten by a terrible looking carnivorous plant in the TARDIS. That's a bad effect. And then, of course, the doctor shoots the rest, kills them all.
Yeah, they peek at that entrance, and then it's just downhill from there.
Yeah, all their intimidation just is lost. All right. How about Andred? What do you think of Andred?
Ben, this is gonna show you how much I was paying attention for this story. I don't know who you're talking about.
Leela's husband.
Oh yeah, no, Ben. Why did you ask me that question? Like we mentioned, he's not really a character in the story.
Yeah, he's fine.
Ben, let's just get straight to. We both know the worst special effect is the Vardans, right?
Yeah.
So what is the best special effect? I don't have an answer for you. There wasn't any special effect here that I was like, I'm. There's not a lot of special effects in this story, which doesn't help, except for the Vardans.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how strict our definition of special effects are. Like, I thought outside of Gallifrey looked good with the
Yeah,
lighting and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if that's a
That looks good.
special effect or just a location.
Guess what? We make the rules, and you know what? I'm agreeing with you. That's the best and worst special effect. Now let's just move on, Ben.
Yes. So I like this story a little bit more than you. In your opinion, what does this story need to really elevate it to be on the same level as like the other Fourth Doctor six-parters? If not Genesis, then like Talons of Weng Chiang level.
But Ben, that's not any like the quality difference is not that drastic compared to they're both really good. Like the difference between Towns of Wing Chang and Genesis of the Daleks is much less than the difference between them, both of them, and the Invasion of Time.
But what is this story? What does this story need?
I think the Boddens in particular need to like punching up. That they need to have much more of a greater threat and much more of a greater presence than they do. They're kind of just there in the background for like the first part and like maybe the second part as well. I forget when they really officially come into the story.
The part two cliffhanger is them appearing in their tinfoil forms before we see like these gray. I kind of assumed they were like the backs of chairs, but I don't really know. The
Beats the
like
hell out of me. But I think that what you do is the Vardans need to punching up. They need to be strong characters that need much more of a threatening presence to them and much more of an interesting like background and just like something that makes me interested in caring about the Vardans as a characters instead of just ooh they're the bad guys like at the tinfoil sink. And I would say also just the big thing I would say is have that twist even though I understand what they were probably thinking of, like, let's have people think this is a four-potter and let's have the twist be that it's a six-potter, but have the Sontarans come at, like, pot 3 halfway through the story, and then so we can expand more on the Sontarans and have the Sontarans be more of a threat this story, 'cause even the Sontarans, even having a pre-existing lore and us having a little bit more of a motivation to care about the Sontarans, when they do show up, they're just not memorable and not threatening and not like I don't care about the Sontarans in this story, and I want to care about the Sontarans in this story.
I think the Vardans are even more threatening. Like the Sontarans are just kind of big guys with guns.
Yeah.
While the Vardans have more of like this omniscient presence to them, which makes them feel more intimidating. Even if in reality they're really just the puppets of the Sontarans, who are the true masterminds of warfare.
But I would say, like, beep off both of the villains and have it be give us a little bit more into the Doctor's plan. I understand that was what they were going for, but I need to be invested a little bit more, and there needs to be hints of maybe even the MacGuffin of the key. Give me more of that in the story to be able to be like, okay, the Doctor is doing this so he could do this to do X, Y, and Z. I felt like with this story there wasn't as much of that, and when there was, I couldn't care about why they were caring about X.
Yeah, the Doctor's plan is always a mystery.
Which if that was a little bit more planned out to the audience, I think that would make me as an audience member care about it more because it kind of doesn't work when the Doctor. is this mysterious and not telling us our intentions? And then when the rest of the cast is going, huh, I wonder what the doctor is doing. It's like, all right, but why should I care except for the doctor is mysterious and being weird? Like, I need a little bit more than that to be able to engage with the story.
I mean, I wouldn't want him to, like, sit down for 5 minutes and tell the whole plan, and then you just see the execution of it.
No, 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 no. But they could have gave us like little bits here and there, of like, oh, why did he do that? Oh, why is he doing like he did this? And that's a tell of like there could have been more things going on there that could have gave us more of a glimpses and set there could have been set up and payoff to this, is what I'm trying to say.
True, that could help.
Of like, oh, he was doing that, but actually he was doing that because of to do this for the to get to make the Vardans do this.
I mean, we kinda have that with, like, the lead room. We don't know what the hell he's on, but, oh, actually, it's all so he can, uh, talk to Barusa. I get what you're saying, that would probably help with the story. It just needs a quicker pace. Let's talk about cliffhangers. So, one is the Doctor is crowned president, and he has the Matrix, circlet thing put on his head, and he doubles over in pain, and oh no.
For part one cliffhanger, that's really solid actually.
2, he calls a meeting, he says, "I'm privileged to introduce to you your new masters," and the tinfoil Vardans appear, which I think is it's fine. 3rd is Andred is about to shoot the Doctor for all his treason. 4 is they won against the Vardans, hooray! And then the Sontarans appear.
With a great Dudley Simpson music.
Oh, yeah.
Did that strike out to you how good that music was when you're watching it?
I can't hum it, but I did think it was good.
Like that piece of music is
It
just
has good, like, punchiness to it.
yeah. Dudley Simpson did a great job. Shout out to Dudley.
He always does a great job. And then 5, Kellner tries to override the Doctor and Rodan's modifications. They're about to be thrown into a black star. I was kinda confused about what was happening.
Yeah.
4 is the best, I think, followed by 2.
I would say no, it's for me it's 4 and then 1.
Cam, it is time. What would you rate this story?
5.6. I would rather watch Mask of Mandragora.
Really?
Yeah.
I think this is like it's better than Image of the Fun. This is like a 7.4.
Much higher than me. That might be the most weird the difference between us all of Tom Baker so far.
Probably, yeah. And of course, Doctor Who magazine does a poll every now and then. The Invasion of Time pretty low. In 2023 it was 36. In 2014 it was 33, as well as 2009. And in 1998 it was 31. So it's trending downward over time in the kind of bottom tier, which I guess that is I have an unpopular opinion. That is the consensus. Do you think this is from what we've seen so far in between worse than the Invisible Enemy but better than Underworld?
Yes. 1000%. That's how I ranked it in my personal rankings. And also for the 2014 poll, which of course is the last poll that they did in its entirety, it ranked number 188, which was it placed it in between Attack of the Cybermen and Night Terrors. Night Terrors, my god, what a shitty episode. That deserves to be much lower on the list.
Uh,
But the Invasion Time, the average rating was a 6.147. So it's closer to my rating.
mhm. I'm seeing on the list here, it's one above the next six-parter, the Armageddon Factor.
Oh god.
Not a good sign, but we will get to that when we do. We'll see. Maybe you'll love the Armageddon Factor and I will hate it.
Maybe.
But season 15 as a whole, Cam, any thought?
It's a downgrade. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, this is Graham Williams' first season, first without Philip Hinchcliffe, and it's definitely there's some growing pains.
Even with Robert Holmes, with the script editor for the first half of this season, it's still pretty rough. And you could tell that there's a dulling of some of the grittiness and the dark stuff in the Hinchcliffe era. You can tell that Graham Williams is a little bit more of a safer producer, along with he's a little bit more interested in big science fiction stories instead of doing more literature adventure serials with like gothic horror elements. Even though there's still a part of it in there, but I would point that more towards, of course, Robert Holmes still being there.
Yeah. But, I mean, aside from Underworld, I don't think any of these I mean, you might disagree on Invasion of Time, but I think there are still some decent stories here. It isn't like falling off a cliff with lowest of the low.
Yeah, but it's still like when you compare it to like there's multiple great stories in season 14
Oh, yeah.
of like you got Hand of Fear, Deadly Assassin, Robots of Death, Talons of Wei Chang,
Yeah, so your average was 6.36, which is the lowest season we have talked about together, period.
which I think makes that I agree with that take that this is the worst of the 70s so far.
Mine was 6.78, which is the same. It's the worst one we've talked about so far. I think that's mostly Underworld tipping the scale as an outlier.
Do you think that there's a Pertwee season that's worse than this?
I guess not.
Like, it's the worst of the 70s so far. This is the kind of like before this, the 70s had like pretty great consistency. And this is the first one where it's like, oh, there's a couple of bumps here.
Yeah.
And we'll see how many more bumps there'll be in season
I think
16.
it might be comparable to like season 11 with
Yeah,
some good stuff, but also some questionable stuff.
but like I'll take Invasion of the Dinosaurs more than a visible enemy any day of the world, Ben.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like I would say this a 7 point. What did we do? Invisible Enemy. I didn't even do Invisible Enemy 7, but that makes sense. But like I don't know. I would prefer most things in 11 except for Death of Daleks and the Monster Peloton.
Mhm.
But yeah, season 15 not as good as we have seen before, and it's kind of a dip in quality. And I've seen a couple of episodes here and there of Invasion of Time. I remember in particular watching Stones of Blood. Everything else, I remember, I think watching some of them here and there. I don't really remember them vividly. So I'll see how much I remember.
Some that you've never seen, some that maybe you have, but you literally don't remember at all.
The only thing I remember for certain is I've watched I remember watching a couple parts of The Pirate Planet. I remember watching the entirety Stones of Blood.
Well,
And I remember actually liking Stones of Blood. So I'm hoping I'm gonna like Stones of Blood now.
yeah.
Even though I don't remember anything from it.
I guess we will see how I mean, 12 is kind of a one arc,
Yeah.
but 16 is like this is really like it's the key to time. That's the season.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes with new companion Romana 1 and K9 Mark 2. So join us next week for the Reboss operation. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us everywhere and anywhere. We appreciate your support. Give us a comment telling about why you agree with Cam that this is the worst story that has ever been told in the medium of television.
Oh no, that's Underworld, Ben. That's a little bit of an over exaggeration there.
Just a little bit. Or whether it's should be the 10 out of 10 better than Genesis story. And I'm wrong too. So let us know and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace out, everyone.